Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about my camera swap. You guys know I talked up the Blackmagic 2.5K forever on this channel. I actually just shot a feature film that will be released this year, but you know, it was time, I had to let it go, and its replacement is actually much more simple than you think. It's actually this camera that I'm holding, the Blackmagic Cinema 4K production camera. So not as big of a jump as some of you may have thought. I originally was looking at the Blackmagic 6K Pro. You know, the reasons I really wanted this camera were actually just because I really wanted to shoot in 4K RAW. I just shot a feature film and I shot it all in the 2.5K RAW, and let me tell you, that was plenty to work with. However, I did find that there were times I really just wanted that extra crispness, that extra wiggle room. I found myself just wanting a little bit more, just a little bit more, not 6K, not 8K, I don't need all of that. I just wanted that little bit more. And look, like I told you all with my 2.5K camera, you can find these on eBay for a great price. Let's go over the specs a little bit and talk about what this thing can do. Body-wise, it's pretty much exactly the same. It's got all of the same ports on the side. There's nothing really different here as far as, you know, form factor, how it sits in your hands and what you need. I'll show you my new setup in another video. It is an EF mount, so it's just like the 2.5K. This version is an EF mount. And then all the buttons on the back are pretty much the same. What I really like about it though is you have two options that are pretty much more than what you had. So I was shooting 2.5K RAW. What I really like about this is the first version that came out, there was ProRes 4K, which is actually a little bit less than 4K. And obviously it's ProRes, so to an extent it's compressed. However, it's still a big, crisp file, and I'll do a shooting video with it to give you guys a feel of that versus RAW. And then, of course, now with the updates, when it first came out, it was just that. Then with updates, now it is full 4K. So you can shoot 4K RAW, not a problem on this thing, and it looks so good. I'm putting together a show reel for it. As soon as I got it out of the box, I took it outside to shoot. So I'll be putting something together so you guys can see everything I wanted it to be, just that little extra crisp, and then when you compress it, export it into a 1080p file, it just adds something. So the ProRes 4K didn't really meet it. It was a little smaller. I believe it's width-wise of pixels. The other thing this camera has that I was really excited about was global shutter. So it handles motion a lot better than the 2.5K could. It has a different kind of shutter. It was not global. So what I was finding was, for an example, in my horror feature film that I made, in certain shots I had strobing lights, police lights, or things off in the distance where the flicker was barely hitting the actor. And with the way the shutter was on the older 2.5K camera, it was actually distorting their skin. So it looked like their face or their forehead or their arm or whatever was touching them was actually pulsating, which took me a long time to fix, but eventually, thanks to DaVinci Resolve, I was able to. But this, with the global shutter, it's gonna handle that type of motion, quick movements. It's gonna handle it a lot better. So you can shoot RAW, there's your 4K. ProRes HQ, this is your 4K. See, it's close enough, but it's not. It's about 160 pixels off. Then you still have your ProRes 422, LT, proxy, and then back to RAW. And then you can choose your frame rate, choose your dynamic range. And outside of that, it's pretty much the same as the 2.5K. Really what it came down to for me was just the Super 35 sensor that comes in this. So again, you're gonna get a little bit more wide angle, which I did. I had some issues with that. Some of that is lens, but so it really didn't bother me on the 2.5K, but when I read that this came with the Super 35, which is a little wider than what comes on the 2.5K, gives you a little bit more angle, a little bit more field of view. Being able to shoot in 4K RAW for the next feature, and then the global shutter was really just the makers for me. And you could upgrade from the 2.5K to this for literally almost no money. It really just makes sense to make the upgrade. So I didn't go and spend, $3,000 or $2,000 on the 6K. I really just, wanted to get to a place where I feel comfortable. I feel like 4K and this camera can handle pretty much anything I need it to do, and it still operates off the SSD cards in the side. So, you know, I don't have to do any crazy changes, updates. All my lenses fit, all my SSDs still fit. Everything I had for this prior in my setup fits and works fine. So it was really a simple, yet I feel, frankly, huge upgrade for me from the 2.5K. That's it, guys. I just wanted to update you on my new equipment, and we'll be going more into depth with this on the channel, don't you worry. And I will see you on the next video.